Ladies and gentlemen, we've all heard the advice: go no contact, cut them off, ignore them, disappear. They regret losing you. But let's be real, does it always work? Does silence truly bring strength, or is it just another way to avoid emotional control? Is the foundation of true strength. It's easy to react impulsively when emotions are high. Anger, sadness, frustration, or even longing can cloud judgment. But real power comes from learning to manage these emotions instead of letting them manage you. Mastering emotional control means not allowing external situations, especially people from your past, to dictate how you feel or act. One of the biggest mistakes people make after a breakup or conflict is acting based on raw emotion. They might lash out, beg for another chance, or completely shut down in an attempt to protect themselves. These reactions are understandable, but they are also signs of emotional weakness. True strength is about being able to experience intense emotions without allowing them to control your behavior. The first step in mastering emotional control is awareness. You have to recognize when you're feeling triggered and understand why. Are you reacting because of fear, rejection, a bruised ego? When you become aware of what's causing your emotions, you take the first step toward managing them instead of being controlled by them. Breathing techniques, mindfulness, and emotional journaling can be powerful tools to help regulate emotions. Instead of immediately reacting to a situation, take a deep breath, step back, and observe your thoughts. This simple act of pausing creates space between emotion and action, allowing you to make more rational decisions. Another crucial aspect of emotional control is learning to process emotions rather than suppress them. Many people mistake emotional control for emotional numbness, but they are not the same. Suppressing emotions leads to unresolved feelings that will surface later in unhealthy ways. Instead, acknowledge your feelings, express them in a productive manner, and then let them go. Your ability to control your emotions directly affects how others perceive you. When you are calm, composed, and collected, you command respect. Desperation, rage, or emotional instability can make others feel they have power over you. By maintaining control, you shift the power dynamic in your favor. Mastering emotional control also means detaching from outcomes. When you are emotionally reactive, you become attached to specific outcomes. You want closure, an apology, or validation. But when you master your emotions, you stop needing external reassurance. You understand that your peace and happiness come from within, not from someone else's response or attention. Emotional control isn't just about dealing with others, it's about developing inner strength. When you have control over your emotions, you also have control over your life. You make decisions based on logic and self-respect rather than fleeting feelings. This ability allows you to build healthier relationships, make better choices, and ultimately create a life that isn't dictated by past experiences. In the end, emotional control is the difference between being a prisoner to your emotions and being the master of your own mind. It is a skill that takes practice, but once developed, it gives you an unshakable sense of confidence and power. Self-improvement is the most powerful way to shift your focus from someone else back to yourself. When a relationship or situation ends, many people become stuck in a cycle of overthinking, wondering what went wrong, or hoping for a reconciliation. But the strongest move you can make is to redirect that energy into becoming the best version of yourself. Growth is not just a distraction, it's a transformation that ensures you never return to the same weak position again. One of the first areas to focus on is your mindset. Your thoughts shape your reality, and if you constantly dwell on the past, you will remain trapped in it. Instead of replaying old memories, shift your thinking toward future goals and personal development. Read books, listen to motivational speakers, or engage in new learning experiences that challenge your mind and expand your perspective. The more you grow mentally, the less affected you'll be by temporary setbacks. Physical improvement is another crucial aspect of self-growth. When you take care of your body, you naturally feel more confident and powerful. Exercise not only improves your appearance but also releases endorphins that boost your mood and reduce stress. Whether it's hitting the gym, practicing yoga, or simply improving your diet, every positive change in your physical health strengthens your mental resilience as well. Your career and financial growth should also be a priority. One of the best ways to reclaim your power is to elevate your professional and financial status. Set career goals, take on new challenges, and increase your skills. Financial independence gives you freedom from needing validation, freedom from relying on others, and the ability to create the life you desire without limitations. Developing new skills and hobbies can be a game changer in your self-improvement journey. Often people lose themselves in relationships and forget their own passions. Now is the time to rediscover what excites you. Learn a new language, play an instrument, start a business, or travel. The more you invest in yourself, the more attractive and valuable you become, not just to others, but most importantly to yourself. Surrounding yourself with high-value people is another way to elevate your growth. Your environment plays a massive role in shaping your mindset and habits. Spend time with individuals who inspire you, challenge you, and push you toward greatness. When you upgrade your circle, you naturally raise your own standards. Negative, stagnant people will only keep you in a negative, stagnant mindset. Emotional self-improvement is just as critical as intellectual and physical growth. Work on emotional intelligence by developing patience, self-awareness, and resilience. Learn to handle rejection, setbacks, and criticism without falling apart. When you become emotionally strong, no situation or person has the power to break you down. A strong sense of purpose is the foundation of true self-improvement. When you have goals and dreams that drive you, everything else, including past relationships, becomes secondary. Find your purpose and commit to it fully. Passion and direction give life meaning, and when you are focused on building something great, you no longer waste time dwelling on people who no longer serve your journey. Ultimately, self-improvement is about becoming someone so fulfilled, so confident, and so strong that you don't need validation from anyone else. The more you invest in yourself, the less you will care about those who left, doubted, or underestimated you. You will realize that losing them wasn't a loss. It was a necessary step in unlocking your true potential. One of the biggest mistakes people make after experiencing hurt or disappointment is shutting people out completely. They build walls so high that no one can get close, thinking that isolation equals protection. But true strength doesn't come from cutting off the world, it comes from setting firm, healthy boundaries. Walls keep everyone out, including the good ones, but boundaries filter out the bad while allowing space for respect and healthy relationships. Boundaries are about self-respect. They communicate to others what you will and will not tolerate. When you set clear boundaries, you are telling the world, this is how I expect to be treated. People with weak or non-existent boundaries often find themselves manipulated, taken advantage of, or emotionally exhausted because they allow others to dictate their worth. Strong individuals, on the other hand, establish limits that protect their peace and energy. One of the most important aspects of boundary setting is understanding that it's not about controlling others, it's about controlling yourself. You cannot force someone to respect your boundaries, but you can enforce them by choosing how you respond. If someone consistently crosses a line, it is up to you to distance yourself, limit your engagement, or walk away altogether. Boundaries lose their power when they are not backed by action. Many people struggle with guilt when setting boundaries, especially if they are used to being people pleasers. But saying no doesn't make you a bad person, it makes you a strong one. You are not responsible for making everyone happy at the cost of your own well-being. The right people will respect your limits, while those who resist them are often the ones who benefited from your lack of them. Boundaries also help you maintain emotional control. Without them, people and situations can easily push you into reactive emotional states. When you have clear limits, you avoid unnecessary drama, protect your mental health, and prevent toxic cycles from repeating. Setting boundaries doesn't mean you don't care, it means you care about yourself enough to demand respect and peace. There are different types of boundaries that need to be established: emotional, physical, mental, and even digital. Emotional boundaries involve protecting your feelings and not allowing others to manipulate or guilt trip you. Physical boundaries relate to personal space and comfort. Mental boundaries help you filter out negativity and protect your thoughts. Digital boundaries ensure that you control who has access to your time and energy online, preventing unnecessary exposure to toxicity. Enforcing boundaries requires confidence and consistency. It's not enough to set them once and hope people respect them. You must stand by them even when it's uncomfortable. This might mean distancing yourself from certain people, refusing to engage in unnecessary arguments, or cutting off interactions that drain your energy. The stronger your boundaries, the more you attract people who respect and uplift you rather than those who drain and disrespect you. A crucial part of setting boundaries is learning to communicate them effectively. Many people assume others will automatically know their limits, but in reality, boundaries must be clearly expressed. Whether it's telling someone, "I'm not comfortable discussing that," or "I need time for myself," being direct yet respectful ensures that your limits are understood. Silence can lead to misunderstandings, but clear communication eliminates confusion. At the core of it all, setting boundaries is an act of self-love. It's about protecting your peace, valuing your time, and refusing to settle for less than you deserve. The goal is not to isolate yourself from the world, but to create a life where you are surrounded by relationships that honor and respect your worth. Communication is one of the most powerful tools you have. After a breakup, argument, or conflict, many people either shut down completely or let their emotions control their words. Neither of these approaches leads to true power. Instead of avoiding communication or reacting impulsively, strong individuals learn to communicate with clarity, confidence, and purpose. When you master this skill, you take control of every interaction and ensure that your words work for you, not against you. The first step in strong communication is understanding that silence is not always strength. While ignoring someone might feel like a power move, it often leaves things unresolved and can even create unnecessary confusion. Real strength comes from being able to express yourself in a way that is firm, direct, and emotionally controlled. You don't have to engage in endless discussions or arguments, but when you do choose to speak, make sure your words reflect your self-respect and emotional maturity. One of the biggest mistakes people make when communicating after a conflict is speaking out of anger or hurt. Emotional outbursts often lead to regret, giving the other person power over you. Instead, take a step back, gather your thoughts, and choose your words carefully. When you respond with poise rather than react with emotion, you command respect. Strong communication is about responding, not reacting. Another crucial part of effective communication is setting the tone. If you communicate from a place of desperation, fear, or sadness, it will show. Instead, approach conversations with confidence and neutrality. When you communicate with a calm and collected mindset, you gain control over the situation rather than letting the situation control you. People are naturally drawn to those who express themselves with certainty and self-assurance. Clarity is key when communicating with strength. Say what you mean and mean what you say. Avoid mixed signals, indirect hints, or passive-aggressive remarks. If you want something, state it clearly. If you're setting a boundary, be firm about it. Weak communication leaves room for manipulation, but strong communication makes your position undeniable. The more precise your words are, the more respect you command. Listening is just as important as speaking. Many people focus so much on what they want to say that they forget to actually hear the other person. Strong communicators listen with intent not just to respond but to understand. When you listen carefully, you gain valuable insight into the other person's mindset, which allows you to navigate the conversation more effectively. Being a good listener also shows emotional intelligence and control. Nonverbal communication plays a major role in how your message is received. Your tone of voice, facial expressions, posture, and eye contact all contribute to the strength of your message. Someone who speaks confidently but avoids eye contact may seem uncertain. Someone who says they are calm but has tense body language may appear defensive. To communicate powerfully, align your words with your body language. One of the most important aspects of strong communication is knowing when to engage and when to walk away. Not every conversation is worth having, and not every person deserves your energy. Sometimes the most powerful response is a well-placed silence, but other times choosing to articulate your stance is the best way to establish dominance and control. Knowing the difference between the two is what separates the emotionally strong from the emotionally reactive. At its core, strong communication is about control over yourself, your words, and the way you interact with others. When you master this, you eliminate misunderstandings, prevent emotional manipulation, and position yourself as someone who is confident, self-assured, and in command of their own reality. Detachment is one of the most powerful skills you can develop, but many people misunderstand what it truly means. Some think detachment is about completely shutting off emotions or pretending not to care. However, real detachment is not about becoming numb, it's about becoming aware. It's about shifting your focus away from needing external validation and toward inner stability. When you detach with awareness, you no longer allow people or situations to control your emotions. The first step in detaching with awareness is recognizing your emotional triggers. What causes you to feel anxious, reactive, or desperate for attention? Is it seeing their name pop up on your phone? Is it checking their social media? The more aware you become of what triggers emotional responses, the more power you have to control how you react. Detachment doesn't mean ignoring emotions, it means understanding them so they no longer dictate your behavior. A major reason people struggle with detachment is because they tie their self-worth to external sources. If your happiness depends on someone else's attention, approval, or presence, then you give them power over your emotions. Detachment means taking back that power. Your value should not rise or fall based on how someone treats you. When you detach, you realize that your self-worth is constant. It doesn't change based on who stays or who leaves. One of the most effective ways to detach is to focus on the present moment. Many people stay emotionally tied to the past, replaying memories, analyzing conversations, or hoping for a different outcome. Others live in the future, constantly wondering what will happen next. Awareness means recognizing when your mind drifts into these places and bringing yourself back to the now. Meditation, deep breathing, and mindfulness exercises can help you strengthen this skill. Detaching with awareness also involves observing rather than absorbing. Instead of getting caught up in the emotions of a situation, step back and watch it from a neutral perspective. Imagine you are watching a movie. Would you let every scene affect you personally? Probably not. The same applies to life. When you become an observer rather than an emotional participant, You gain clarity and control over your reactions. Another important part of detachment is breaking emotional attachments to outcomes. Many people remain stuck because they are holding on to a specific expectation, whether it's getting closure, receiving an apology, or hoping for reconciliation. But true freedom comes when you let go of needing a specific result. When you accept things as they are instead of how you want them to be, you free yourself from disappointment and emotional dependency. Detachment also applies to communication and interactions. You can still engage with people while remaining emotionally detached. This doesn't mean being cold or distant, it means maintaining control over how much energy you invest. When you detach, you no longer react impulsively, personal information, or seek validation. You interact with confidence, knowing that your emotions are not tied to the response you receive. One of the biggest benefits of detaching with awareness is the ability to make logical decisions instead of emotional ones. When you are too emotionally invested, you may act out of desperation, fear, or insecurity. But when you detach, you think clearly. You are able to assess situations without being clouded by emotional bias, which leads to better choices and stronger personal boundaries. Ultimately, detachment with awareness is not about shutting down, it's about opening up to a new way of thinking. It's about realizing that you have control over your emotions, that you do not need external validation to feel whole, and that peace comes from within. The more you practice detachment, the more you free yourself from unnecessary emotional pain and regain power over your own life. When people face heartbreak, rejection, or failure, their instinct is often to shut down. They withdraw from the world, stop putting in effort, and let their emotions dictate their actions. While taking time to heal is important, shutting down completely is a sign of weakness, not strength. True power comes from using setbacks as fuel for growth. Instead of retreating, level up. The best way to regain control over your life is to become a stronger, more refined version of yourself. The first step to leveling up is shifting your mindset. Many people view painful experiences as the end of something, but strong individuals see them as the beginning of transformation. Instead of thinking, "Why did this happen to me?" shift your focus to, "How can I use this to become better?" Everything in life, including pain, is an opportunity to grow. When you adopt this mindset, setbacks become stepping instead of roadblocks. Leveling up starts with self-investment. This means improving yourself physically, mentally, emotionally, and financially. Go to the gym, start a new workout routine, or refine your diet to improve your health and confidence. Read books, take online courses, or develop new skills to expand your knowledge. Strengthening yourself in multiple areas builds resilience and ensures that you emerge from setbacks stronger than before. One of the most effective ways to level up is to set and achieve new goals. After a painful experience, it's easy to lose motivation and feel stuck. The key is to create small, actionables that keep you moving forward. Whether it's fitness, career, personal development, or financial growth, setting clear objectives gives you a purpose and prevents you from falling into stagnation. Progress, no matter how small, builds momentum and keeps you focused on the future instead of the past. Your social environment also plays a huge role in your growth. When you shut down, you isolate yourself and allow negative thoughts to take over. Instead, surround yourself with high-value individuals, people who inspire you, challenge you, and support your journey. Cutting out toxic influences and building strong connections with positive, ambitious people will elevate your mindset and push you to grow. Emotional growth is another key part of leveling up. It's not just about external success, it's about becoming more emotionally intelligent and self-aware. Learn to process your emotions instead of suppressing them. Understand your triggers, recognize unhealthy patterns, and work on developing a strong, stable mindset. Emotional growth ensures that the next time you face adversity, you handle it with strength and maturity. A major mistake people make when they shut down is waiting for external validation to feel better. They hope for an apology, a second chance, or some kind of recognition. But true power comes when you no longer need outside approval to feel complete. When you level up, you prove to yourself, not anyone else, that you are capable, valuable, and unstoppable. Discipline is what separates those who grow from those who remain stuck. Motivation comes and goes, but discipline keeps you consistent. Even when you don't feel like working out, learning, or pushing yourself, do it anyway. Small, daily actions lead to massive long-term results. The stronger your discipline, the harder it is for setbacks to break you. At its core, leveling up is about taking control of your life. It's about refusing to let pain define you, and instead using it as fuel to become a better version of yourself. Shutting down may feel like an easy escape, but it leads to stagnation. Growth, on the other hand, leads to power, confidence, and success. The choice is simple: stay down or rise higher than ever before. In a world where people constantly try to prove themselves through words, true power comes from action. Many people waste time explaining themselves, defending their choices, or trying to convince others of their worth. But words mean nothing without action to back them up. Instead of talking about what you're going to do, show it. Let your results be so undeniable that you never have to explain yourself again. One of the biggest mistakes people make is seeking validation through words. They try to prove they've moved on, that they're doing better, or that they've changed. But real growth doesn't need an announcement. When you level up in silence and let your progress do the talking, people will notice on their own. The best revenge, the best proof, and the best confidence booster all come from results, not explanations. Actions build credibility, while words are often empty. Anyone can say they're working on themselves, that they're improving, or that they've changed. But until those words are backed by action, they mean nothing. If you say you're done with toxic relationships, but still entertain them, your words lose value. If you say you're chasing success but don't put in the effort, no one will take you seriously. Actions define you far more than promises ever will. A powerful way to let your actions speak is through consistency. Growth isn't about one big change, it's about small, disciplined actions repeated over time. Anyone can make a temporary change, but those who truly level up are the ones who stay committed long after the excitement fades. When you consistently show up for yourself, people will see your transformation without you needing to say a word. Another key to proving yourself through action is focusing on results rather than attention. Many people seek quick recognition instead of long-term success. They post every small achievement for approval, hoping others will validate their progress. But the strongest individuals don't seek applause, they focus on real, tangible results. When you shift your mindset from proving to improving, you naturally command respect. Letting your actions speak also means handling situations with silence and composure. When someone disrespects you, you don't need to argue or prove a point. Simply walking away and leveling up is a louder statement than any response could ever be. When people see you thriving despite challenges, it says more than any words ever could. Silence combined with undeniable success is the most powerful response. Your work ethic is one of the biggest indicators of your commitment to action. It's easy to say you want success, but are you willing to put in the work when no one is watching? Are you willing to stay disciplined even when motivation fades? The strongest individuals don't just talk about their goals, they grind for them every single day. Hard work speaks louder than any speech ever could. Relationships are another area where actions matter more than words. If someone respects you, you won't have to question it. They will show it through consistency, effort, and honesty. If someone values you, they won't just say it, they will prove it through their actions. The same applies to you. If you truly love and respect yourself, you will act accordingly. Your self-worth is demonstrated by what you allow, what you entertain, and what you walk away from. At the end of the day, your results, growth, and success will speak for themselves. The people who doubted you, underestimated you, or disrespected you will have no choice but to see your progress. And by then, you won't even need their recognition, you will already know your worth. Let your actions do the talking. And watch how the world listens. Many people go through life simply existing, going through the motions, reacting to circumstances, and drifting without direction. But those who truly thrive don't just exist, they live with purpose. Living with purpose means waking up every day with intention, knowing exactly what you're working toward, and making every action count. It's about directing your energy towards something meaningful rather than wasting time on distractions and negativity. The first step to living with purpose is identifying what truly matters to you. Too many people chase goals that society, family, or friends expect them to pursue, rather than following what actually fulfills them. Purpose is personal, it comes from within. Take time to reflect on what excites you, what drives you, and what impact you want to make. When you align your life with your values and passions, everything becomes more meaningful. Living with purpose requires a mindset shift. Instead of asking, "What should I do?" start asking, "Why am I doing this?" Every decision, every action, and every commitment should serve a greater purpose. When you have a strong why, motivation comes naturally. Challenges no longer feel like obstacles, they become necessary steps towards something bigger. A purpose-driven person doesn't quit because they are tired. They push through because their mission is greater than their discomfort. Discipline is a major factor in living with purpose. It's easy to feel motivated when everything is going well, but true commitment is tested when things get tough. A strong sense of purpose keeps you focused even when motivation fades. When you know why you're doing something, you stay disciplined, consistent, and resilient. Purpose is what separates those who keep going from those who give up. A purposeful life is not just about personal success, it's about impact. The most fulfilled people aren't just focused on themselves, they contribute to something greater. Whether it's through your career, relationships, or daily interactions, finding ways to add value to the world gives your life deeper meaning. Your purpose isn't just about what you achieve, it's about how you use your success to inspire and uplift others. To truly live with purpose, you must cut out distractions. Negative people, toxic relationships, and meaningless activities drain your energy and pull you away from what really matters. Every decision should be filtered through a simple question: does this align with my purpose? If it doesn't, let it go. Purpose-driven individuals don't waste time proving themselves to people who don't matter or engaging in situations that don't serve them. Living with purpose also means embracing growth. You cannot fulfill your potential if you stay the same. Purpose requires continuous self-improvement, learning new skills, challenging yourself, and stepping outside your comfort zone. The more you grow, the more you can give to the world. Stagnate if purpose, movement, learning, and evolution are what keep you aligned with your mission. One of the biggest misconceptions about purpose is that it has to be something grand or world-changing. But purpose isn't always about fame, fortune, or recognition. Sometimes purpose is found in the small, consistent actions, being a great parent, supporting loved ones, helping others, or simply living each day with gratitude and effort. Purpose isn't about how big your mission is, it's about how committed you are to it. At its core, living with purpose means taking control of your life. It means refusing to be a passive participant and instead becoming the author of your own story. When you live with intention, every moment holds value. You stop wasting time on things that don't matter, and you start creating a life that truly fulfills you. Your life is your story, and you are the author. Too many people live as if someone else is writing their narrative, letting circumstances, past experiences, or other people dictate their direction. But real power comes when you take control of your own story. Instead of being a passive character in your own life, you must become the one who decides how the next chapter unfolds. The first step in taking control of your story is rejecting the victim mindset. Life will always bring challenges, heartbreaks, and setbacks, but none of these define you unless you allow them to. Many people stay stuck because they blame their past, their environment, or the actions of others. But the moment you stop making excuses and start taking responsibility, you regain power over your own life. Self-awareness is key in rewriting your story. You have to recognize what patterns, beliefs, and habits are holding you back. Are you repeating the same toxic relationships? Are you sabotaging your own success with fear or procrastination? Until you acknowledge the ways you limit yourself, you will keep living the same story over and over again. True change starts with awareness and the willingness to break negative cycles. Once you become aware of what needs to change, the next step is intentional action. Taking control isn't just about thinking differently, it's about doing differently. Every day, the choices you make shape your future. Do you spend time on personal growth, or do you distract yourself with meaningless activities? Do you take bold steps toward your goals, or do you let fear hold you back? Your daily actions determine how your story unfolds. One of the most powerful ways to take control of your story is by shifting your internal dialogue. The way you speak to yourself shapes your reality. If you constantly tell yourself you're not good enough, that's the story you will live. But if you start speaking with confidence, resilience, and self-belief, your actions will follow. Your mindset is the foundation of the story you create for yourself. Taking control also means setting boundaries. You cannot allow others to dictate your story. People will try to limit you with their opinions, doubts, or expectations, but you have to stand firm in your own vision. Cut out relationships that drain you, say no to things that don't align with your goals, and protect your time and energy. When you take control of your environment, you take control of your future. Another key element of rewriting your story is embracing change. Too many people stay in the same place because they fear the unknown. Growth requires risk, it requires stepping into discomfort and trusting that you can handle whatever comes next. You don't evolve by staying in familiar places, you evolve by pushing yourself beyond them. Taking control means being brave enough to turn the page and start a new chapter. Success and self-mastery come from consistency. Many people start strong but give up when things get hard. Taking control of your story is not about making one big change and expecting instant results. It's about showing up for yourself every single day. It's about proving through action that you are serious about creating a better life. The more consistent you are, the more momentum you build, and the more your story transforms. At its core, taking control of your story is about realizing that you are not defined by your past, your failures, or anyone else's expectations. You have the power to create a life that reflects your true potential. The moment you stop waiting for change and start creating it, you reclaim control over your destiny. True power is not about control over others, it's about control over yourself. Many people chase status, wealth, or dominance, thinking these things will make them powerful. But real strength doesn't come from external validation. It comes from within. It's about mastering your emotions, standing firm in your values, and moving through life with confidence and purpose. When you embrace true power, you stop reacting to life and start shaping it. The first step to embracing true power is understanding that it begins in the mind. Power is a mindset before it's an outcome. If you believe you are weak, incapable, or dependent on others, you will live according to that belief. But when you shift your mindset to one of strength, resilience, and independence, everything else changes. Your thoughts dictate your reality, and true power starts with believing in yourself. Emotional control is a defining trait of powerful individuals. Weakness isn't just about physical ability, it's about being ruled by emotions instead of managing them. When you let anger, insecurity, or fear dictate your actions, you give away your power. But when you master emotional discipline, you become unshakable. You respond instead of reacting, think before you act, and refuse to let temporary emotions control long-term decisions. True power is also rooted in self-respect. Many people seek power by trying to impress others, win approval, or prove their worth. But real strength comes from knowing your value without needing external validation. When you embrace your worth, you stop tolerating disrespect, manipulation, or toxic relationships. You set boundaries, demand better for yourself, and walk away from anything that does not serve you. Another aspect of true power is the ability to remain calm under pressure. Life will throw challenges your way, but power lies in how you handle them. Some people panic, complain, or look for someone to save them. Others stay composed, assess the situation, and find solutions. The ability to stay level-headed, even in chaos, is a sign of deep inner strength. The more you control your response to life, the more powerful you become. True power also means taking full responsibility for your life. Weak people blame their circumstances, past or others, for their failures. But powerful individuals own their choices. They don't waste energy making excuses, they focus on what they can control and take action. When you take responsibility for your success, happiness, and growth, you reclaim your power from everything and everyone else. One of the most overlooked aspects of power is discipline. Talent, intelligence, and potential mean nothing without the discipline to back them up. Powerful people don't just rely on motivation, they build habits, stick to routines, and stay committed even when they don't feel like it. Discipline is the difference between wishing for something and actually making it happen. The stronger your self-discipline, the more unstoppable you become. Powerful people also embrace solitude. Many fear being alone because they associate it with weakness or loneliness. But true strength comes from being comfortable with yourself. When you don't rely on distractions or people to feel whole, you become independent in the truest sense. Solitude allows you to reflect, grow, and operate from a place of clarity rather than desperation. The ability to stand alone is one of the greatest signs of power. At its core, embracing true power is about knowing who you are, mastering your emotions, and taking control of your life. It's about becoming the kind of person who doesn't need to seek power because they already embody it. When you develop a strong mind, unshakable discipline, and deep self-respect, you no longer chase power, it naturally flows to you. True power isn't something you wait for, it's something you create. It's built through discipline, self-mastery, and the willingness to take full control of your life. When you stop seeking validation, stop reacting to negativity, and start living with intention, you become unstoppable. Everything you need to succeed is already within you. The only question is whether you will step into that power or continue letting distractions, doubts, and external forces control your story. The choice is yours. Will you rise to your full potential, or will you settle for less? No more waiting. No more excuses. No more playing small. It's time to embrace your power, take charge of your future, and prove through action that you are capable of achieving everything you desire. Your next chapter begins now, make it legendary.